I was president of my country for 7 years. I did serve as UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. In fact, at the moment, I'm the Special Envoy of the Secretary General on climate change. But I'm a mother of 3, and I'm a grandmother. I'm an Irish grandmother. I have 5 grandchildren, and they are between the ages of 11 and 1. Those grandchildren will be in their 40s in 2050. No, actually, the 1-year-old will only be 35 in 2050. And I wonder what they will think about us, what they will say about us, about what we did or didn't do in 2015. It's as important as that. If we don't take the right steps in 2015, they are entitled to be so angry with us because we failed them. We condemned them to a very troubled, catastrophic world. Who wants to do that for their children? And that's why the intergenerational justice is also very important. And this is truly a women's issue. And this is an issue that truly needs more leadership this year. So the reason I've asked you to stand is I want each of us to think, what is one thing that we can do going out of this conference, Women in the World, to help to mobilize leadership for financing for development in July, for the need to have a really robust, sustainable development goals, that one of which is on climate change, that sort of change the whole way of thinking about development, and then that we have a climate agreement in Paris that is binding, that changes things. And we need to think, you said, is it self-interest, is it solidarity? In 1945, which is the year that I compare to 2015, the world came together because we'd had 2 world wars, we'd had a Holocaust, we'd opened up a divide between the world, the Soviet world and the Cold War. And so people were driven by this sense, never again. And they came together and they forged the Charter of the United Nations, the Bretton Woods institutions, the IMF and the World Bank, a Marshall Plan for Europe, an incredible commitment to the future, and a few years later at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so we're in this extraordinary time when we need a leadership. Yes, there are all the crises that we know about, but this is the existential threat. And existential means something. It means that we are the first generation to fully understand the dangers of climate change. I know there are still a few climate deniers, but they're very much on the back foot. This is an issue that we have to take incredibly seriously. We're the first generation to fully understand the seriousness of climate change, and the last generation with time to do something about it.